Hello there. Today we are going to be painting a stack of macarons. This is the reference photo and you can download it in the link below, but we are going to have a blast. I am so excited to paint this very fun picture with you, specifically because of the shadows in this picture that cause incredible drama. So are you ready? Let's paint. After you've downloaded your picture, your reference photo, and printed it out, I used a small arches piece of paper and then I just took painter's tape and I measured 1/4 of an inch and taped that off because I do want to give this a background. So this painter's tape will keep the paint from bleeding into that spot. This picture is all about the shadows. So we're going to begin by color mapping this picture. And we'll start with the blue that we see right here. And I believe that this color here, and I think, let's see, this color is cayenne, I believe. I'm going to, just begin to paint glaze. So I say color mapping because my teacher, Sharon Larson, calls it color mapping, but really we are glazing. We are first laying down a layer of paint in the lightest color that we see. I am using my arches paper. Paper really matters. You can reference the video I share about supplies. But paper matters. If you are going to try to buy cheaper supplies, do not skimp on the paper. I say this many, many times, but you could be the very best watercolor artist in the world. And if you use bad paper, you're going to look like a little child did it. Okay, so I just put the first glaze down, the lightest color that I see here. And honestly, I do see a little bit of a reflection of the yellow right here, and it's not super, it's still pretty wet there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little towel here and I'm just going to dab and pick up some of that color. Do you see how that picked up the color right here? So now we're going with yellow, and this is a really creamy yellow. I'm not sure that I have the colors that I need yet. This yellow here is a little too neon for my taste. I took the pineapple yellow from this and put it in here, and I think that's going to get me closer to the color yellow that I want. So I just mixed it with that neon, adding more, and I'm going to bring in a little of this pink. It dirtied up my yellow, but that's okay. Now I'm going to add water. Let's see here. My palette is pretty dirty, but by dirty, I mean full of color. I don't like to clean off my palette. And the reason I don't is because I can just add water, get it wet, and reuse it. And it's a great way of saving my paint, not wasting paint. But also, it's just a colorful reminder of what's around me. I don't add a lot of water here. This is still really bright. It's not quite the color I was hoping for. But you know what? We're just going to roll with it. So I'm going to add a lot of water. Tomorrow, I have a new set of watercolor paints coming, and I'm going to make you a video that will come out next week about the difference between a cheap set, which this is a $20 set from Artistro, and what the difference in colors will look like between a cheap set like that and a Winsor and Newton professional grade tray. So I will show you the comparison between the two on good watercolor paper. And so you'll get an idea of what the differences are. I can't wait to film that because I can't wait for those paints to come in. Okay, this green, it's kind of like an olive green. And I believe that on this Artistro set, the jade green is probably the color closest to what we want. And I'm going to add a lot of water for this first layer. Keep it glazed very well. Just lovely little laying down of the color. Nice laying down the color right there. Now we have our green down. Now we're going to go for this little pink color. And on my Artistro set, I'm going to go with the blush pink. If you did the ballet shoes with us, and I'm adding it to kind of the neon here, then you will know this blush pink color. It's so pretty. Just adding it here. And my green was still, a little wet and the blush pink hit it and it got a little bit of the green on it, but I'm not worried about it because where that happened, there's a very dark shadow and it's a little bit green and I am not worried at all. So again, we're just filling this in. Oh, I just got some green in there. Wasn't paying attention because I just said to you green. So I'm just picking up that color with my towel and rinsing my brush off. And I am coming back to my blush. There we go. Okay. Seems to be covering it. Okay. See, we can make mistakes in watercolor. And for the most part, we can either find a way to work with them or we can fix them. And if you can't, you know what? It is just a piece of paper. So you don't need to worry too much. Okay, so I've got the pink down. Now this last color is tricky because it's a cream color. And it is really not a color that I already have per se on my tray. But I'm wondering if I take this apricot and if I add a whole lot of water to the apricot with this blush pink, I wonder, we're going to go with it. It's still a little bit darker than what I see, but that's okay. It doesn't have to look exactly like the reference photo. It's just a reference photo. And you know what? Yours does not need to look exactly like mine. You are bringing your own style, your own perspective, your own little ticks from the hand. And what I like to see when I'm teaching a class, I love to see how different styles really start to emerge between my different artists. It's just so much fun to watch that. Now, while these bottom ones dry, I'm going to go back up. I think this is dry enough. I really am just so tempted to start right in here. There's this raspberry looking filling on the inside, which is really pretty close to the Merlot color on this Artistro set. And I am going to just bring that in right here. Look how fun this is. Ooh la la, do you see it? It is starting to really take shape. I got the desire to do this particular painting with you because I am such a Francophile and I love France. I don't know if you can see it really well. Let's see if I can really get closer here so I can show you. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get close enough, but what's happening with this Artistro set of watercolor is the pigment is separating a little bit. And that's in part because I've got a lot of water on my brush, but it's also in part, I think, just because it is a cheaper set. And I don't love seeing the pigment fragments in my painting. So I'm hoping that with the watercolors that I've ordered, the Winsor & Newton set, I'm hoping this will not happen the way that is happening. So, cross your fingers. Let's hope that I'm correct in my hypothesis there. Okay, I'm going to rinse off my brush. And I want to think, okay, so this is the blue that I used. I want to get a whole lot of this pigment on my brush. And I just picked up a little green from over here because I see this little spot right here. The green didn't stay too much, but this is nice and blue right here. And I saw just a hint of green in it. So I want to bring it, I want to bring that in because that will make this rich. Now I'm going to go back to this blue and what I want to do is I want to kind of bring that blue that I see in over here, just kind of around and up here. The first time I ever had a macaron was at Le Laudre in Paris. I'm probably butchering that. My French is not great, much as I would like it to. I just got some water and just kind of bringing that in here. And that's almost too much water, but it's okay. It's really okay. I don't get bent out of shape about little things like that. This is such a great practice in just being a little bit more learning to be a little bit more laid back. You can't control everything in watercolor. I'm someone that likes to try to control a lot of the different parts of my life. And, that's just not possible in watercolor. So it teaches me so well how I really need to learn to relinquish control. Do you see why I'm painting green right here? I just added a little bit of green to my blue. Do you know why I'm doing that? You can comment below and tell me, and I'll respond to you. I really appreciate those of you that comment on the videos here. So I know, you can comment all sorts of things telling me what you want to paint, what you liked about this, what you want me to do more of or less of. But the reason why that's kind of green down there is because the reflection of the yellow macaron below is reflecting on that space. And the yellow plus the blue makes green, right? So it's giving us a green shadow down there. And I'm going to need to go back in and really tighten up that shadow, but I just dropped in some water. Now, right here, I've got the green blue mixed pretty well. And I am going to take this green blue and there's all of these dark spots in here that really need to be added. And there's a little green reflection right here. And this is too wet, so I can't put anything in there yet, but I'll go back and play with that. This yellow, it's like yellow and orange, so I already have this yellow next to my orange. And I'm going to come in and I'm actually going to pick up a lot of this orange that's on mine and just begin to put that creamy orange in the middle. I see a little bit of a highlight, and I'm leaving the highlight right there. And this is darker, but I'll fix that. I'll come back in and bring more shadow in a bit. But this orange here is so compelling. I want to bring in these dark places. And you can see this, there's almost a light green shadow here too. So we'll play with that. And again, you don't necessarily need to paint exactly what you see. It depends on how realistic you're going. And, sometimes it's really fun to get realistic, and other times it's just a reference. Okay, that's looking good. So again, we're going to need to come back in. We're doing lots of little layers. We're going to need to come back into that, rinsing this off. Now the green. I'm going to change greens here. I want to go with the green on this. Yep, I do. I'm going to bring this here. Doesn't it look almost like a little jelly? Is this making you hungry? Kind of making me hungry. Oh yeah, comment and tell me what's going on. What do you want to see more of? Okay, that's what I'm here for. I'm hoping to bring you some more videos on creativity and how to cultivate creativity along with just pure watercolor tutorials. But if there's other things around these topics that you would like to see, I'm here for it. So just let me know. That's why I'm here. This watercolor is all about patience. It just takes putting down a layer here and putting down a layer there, letting it dry, coming down, putting down another layer. Now I'm coming over to this pink, picking up some of this dark pink. Added a little blue. I'm going to make it a little purpley. And I'm going to give this that purple inside. And really, this purple is in a lot of places over here. So I'm just going to start making these little crevices. And really, we're in the part that we're in the messy middle, guys. Guys, gals, folks, this is just the messy middle. And oftentimes, this is the place where that little gremlin in your head starts telling you that this doesn't look very good and it's never going to look good. And who do you think you are to be a painter, etc., etc. And you just gotta, ignore is maybe not the right thing exactly to say. I don't know that you want to ignore entirely, but you just want to let that little gremlin know, hey, little buddy, I got this, okay? And you can sit back down. I appreciate that you want to keep me safe and you want to keep me in my probably place, but I don't need you right now. I'm just playing. I'm painting. I'm playing. That's how we got to talk to those little gremlins. Got to be compassionate because they're a part of us. There's no bad parts. But we are in the messy middle. Like this doesn't We don't have enough shadows to create depth yet. It's looking flat. So this is the point where you don't want anybody else to see it because no, it's just not ready. If we were to stop here, this would not be a watercolor painting. So, and what I find too is in watercolor, people just stop before a painting is done. And it really just takes adding more detail, adding more detail, adding more detail. And it begins to really come to life. So I want you to be thinking about that. Now, I am just itching to come back to this blue, but it's still really wet. So I'm going to let that be. I'm going to come back to this green one because I think it's dry enough. And I'm going to take this jade green that I started with, and I'm going to bring in this beautiful jade green shadow right here. And there's a little part, there's like still a little highlight back there. So I'm going to be careful not to paint it all in. We're just seeing really deeply here. Okay. That is so much of what this is all about. Paying close attention, being patient, being kind to our little demons and gremlins that are trying to keep us safe. That's what painting is really all about. Who knew? I didn't know. They didn't teach me that in high school when I was learning to paint, but they should have been. This is like the greatest personal development tool out there, really and truly. And I'm just going to get this wet and I'm going to kind of muddy it up in here. Really delightful. There we go. That's just delightful, isn't it? I want to add some more detail in here. And again, we're going to just be adding in detail after detail after detail. There's going to be so much detail. Just bringing it in. And I'm not trying to get every little piece on its own like that, but what I am trying to do is create the illusion of that craggly bit. And let's bring this line right here. There is a darker line under here. So it's slowly beginning to take shape and we're having so much fun. It's really just about having good fun. Rinsing off the brush. Now, where can I go that it's not going to bleed into itself? I think I'm going to come down to this bottom one. And what I want to think about doing here is got that apricot color is what I decided to go with. And I think I can darken it up a bit. So I'm going to just darken that up. I really kind of want to darken all of it. And I'm going to have to come back and put the shadow in. We really needed to darken that whole thing up, which is what I just did. And I kind of feel that way down here too. Just need to darken this up. Yeah. We'll come in again, putting the detail in, but for now, that's going to have to do. And now I'm going to get a little bit of pink. I started with that blush pink. I want to add some water, but I want it to be careful. I don't want to hit that green. It's wet up there. And I'm not really in the mood to bring that green into this. But There is this sharp highlight right here, or sharper than what we kind of see, and I want it to be in there. I'll need again to darken that up a bit, but for now, this really, and it kind of comes in here and in here. And got to be careful against the apricot, right? Kind of bled in. It's okay where the shadow is, but I maybe went over a little too far, but I'm not worried about it. It's all right. And I want to kind of do that with this jade. I want to brighten up the green a bit. Let's see what I can get. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better here. And I'm going to bring it in here as well. It's just I wanted to add more color to the macarons. And these are slowly starting to take shape, but this is not an easy picture. You know, I want to trick you all into trying things a little bit more challenging than you might have otherwise. And I want to add to this here. And here. And we do need to let this dry. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do at the moment. And we'll meet up in a little bit, but because these really need to dry before I can add more shadow. All right. We are more dry than we were before. The blue up here is still a little damp, but we can work down here. We can work in here. And I do want to start by painting this. There is a green yellow happening right here. And I'm going to play with mixing the color to see what emerges when I kind of mix those together. I think I want to add that I almost want to bring a little brown into that. Yeah, it, it's okay. It's traveling up into that blue. It's a shame. I'm just not patient enough here. This comes down into this color. And that instantly creates that lovely shadow that we're going for on this one. Now, I want to come into the orange realm. I'm coming back to the orange, picking up a lot of pigment, and it can be a little dirty orange. So I put a little brown in there to dirty it up. And I want to just bring in a more dramatic shadow. There's a little line that happens right here. And it stays pretty muddy orange here. And then there's a little line that happens right along here. And that line, you could extend that through here as well. So we're really beginning to make this pop. Now, this dirty orange, I see it right here. And I'm going to let it come in to these other places that I see as well. I'm not going to be afraid to pull this in. And it's also down here. And here. I'm going to rinse off the brush. I want to get a little bit of a yellow orange happening. The orange is really overtaking. So I need to pull in more pineapple. And I think maybe rinse my brush some more. Pull in a little bit more pineapple. There. And kind of bring it in. That's pretty bright. That might have been a little too bright, but it's okay. And my brown kind of bled into my green. I don't know how I'm feeling about that. At the moment, I'm going to let it stand. I do feel like I can just kind of bring this over here a little bit more. And there we go. So for the moment, I like what's happened, bringing in a little bit more brown, orange. And here. Here. All right. So that I'm going to let be how it is for the moment. And now I'm going to come back to this guy and see, what do I see? What do I want to add here? Well, I definitely want that shadow stronger. So the green that I see down here is, well, that's not it. It's more of the forest green. Maybe this is the forest green, I believe. Yeah. So that's bringing it in fully here. And I see this color really happening down here strongly. I don't want to shy away from using it, getting darker. Don't be afraid to bring the dark colors in. Yes, you can't always go lighter, but bringing in the dramatic color is what is going to really make the shadows really make this. So giving your macaron the places where it stands out is what's going to make this picture. I'm just doing what you need to do here. Okay, I'm loving how this is beginning to take form and shape, and these are beginning to stand out really well. Now, this pink, still a little wet. I think that what I want to do is this red color here that I'm using, it is, I think, the watermelon pink. And I'm going to bring that watermelon pink down here. This spot. And yeah, I'll allow it to come up in here as well. Just letting this happen. And that's fine. So now I'm adding just a little bit of green to that watermelon, and it's turning it a little bit of a Merlot color. I was expecting more of a green, but I'm going to bring that down here. It's the reflection, right, on the pink that's happening, but it didn't quite turn it the color I was thinking it would, but this is going to work. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to take that watermelon color right here and pulling it in down here, but also allowing it to come in. Just in here. I'm just picking up pink colors that I see all around here and drawing them in. And this is a little too wet. So again, I'm going to just kind of stop that from bleeding and letting that now do its thing. And the apricot, we need more apricot. Is that like we need more cowbell? We need more apricot. And this is pretty wet. It's going to bleed a little. That's okay. But I'm bringing in this apricot right here. And I am darkening it up. And it is just a pretty fun shadow happening right there. And it looks really good. But see, what color do I want to make this? I'm going to make this kind of a yellowy, dark yellow, bringing that in here as well. Now, add some water, and I see lots of detail that needs to be added in, and I'm just kind of moving my brush around, really bringing in the colors that need to happen. There's a very strong shadow right here. Okay. So this is a really taking form. I mean, look how fun this is. I still haven't quite yet gotten what I want right here. I think I'll be able to. I'm going to go for this Merlot. It's rich, rich Merlot. And I want to drop that right here. Yeah, that's much better. Bring that up the top and along the bottom, leaving a little highlight in there. Definitely see a highlight. And then I'm going to grab my cobalts and I'm going to get a really strong amount of cobalt on my brush. You see how I'm doing that? And I just want to add that in. Strong shadows right here. And I'm going to bring that in here. So there's more green that I see in my reference photo, but I'm not going to let that hold me up. I know kind of what's going on here, and I'm letting there be highlights. Maybe a little doop doop. Yeah, there we go. This is delightful. Now, I really like the way that sharply is standing out. I do want a little bit more cobalts for my shadow down here. I'm going to let that sink in. And I might even continue that down here. Might be a little too sharp. I don't know. Add a little bit more water, kind of drop it in and let it in. Yeah, I think that's okay. It's just makes it stand out. So it's not exactly what we see per se, but it really works. And I'm going to keep a little bit of this green on, and I see just a little bit of that right here. And letting that be a slightly different contrasted color. I also see a dollop of yellow, and I'm going to see if I can get a good amount of yellow on my brush right here. I think I can. And just kind of drop that here as a highlight. Do you see how that gentle little highlight makes it? And I'm going to take my green once again and let that highlight be strong. Shadow. And right here, there's like a forest green happening. Strong. Got to pick up a lot of pigment here. So there. I see. Nice spot. And it's almost a little bit of green in here. And I'm going to just rinse off my brush a little bit, but I'm going to keep that green, thinking I want to kind of bring that green highlight down. It's lovely. And dropping it in just a touch in there. I see a little bit, this might be not be dry enough for me to do that yet. So we're really starting to bring out these fun, different shadows, and it's really playful. This is a playful piece. Now that things have dried a little bit more, we are able to add some more shadows. So let's dive into the shadow adding because that's going to be so much fun. So down here, it is a rich color. It's almost red. And I'm going to grab that watermelon color and I'm going to add it right here. And I'm going to bring it down a bit. I'm even going to bring it like that. And I'm going to show it here as well, just as it kind of comes in. I want to pick up a brown a little bit and bring it in here. I'm going to add texture and shadow by continuing that brown in this area as well. And that's just popping perfectly. It's great how that kind of happened. So for the most part, I think we're getting there. I'm going to add a little bit more of this watermelon on the bottom side of the pink one as well. And I'll give it a bit here. A bit more here. Okay. I like what I have happening here. Think I want a little bit darker forest green, sharper right here. Yeah. And that's making it pop a bit. And I'm going to just continue it under a bit right there as well. I will add this little line hinting at that reflection underneath. And the blue is taking that blue right here. And it's just not sharp enough right here. Bringing it along the bottom the way it needs to. And I believe I could even bring it here along the lip a bit. And I'm exaggerating what I'm seeing to add more of what we need. Here we have lots of shadow, and there is always more you can do on a piece. You can decide how much more you want to do or not do. I'm going to call this one close to done, which means that we have a decision. If you want a white background, you're going to pause and be done right here, but you're going to add a shadow. Now, this shadow, you can make it any color you would like. And that's what you see right here. So I would suggest maybe probably a blue or like a Payne's gray or a purple shadow right here. But am going to paint this background. And I think a purple is the color that I'm going to paint it. So I'm going to take my round 16 because that's my biggest brush. And I am going to pick up this purple. This purple color that I see is actually called fuchsia. I think, yeah, that's the color I want. I want fuchsia. So I'm going to begin. I want really to make big, sweeping colors. And I don't want it to kind of dry anywhere. So I need to be careful to move somewhat quickly so that my wash doesn't create lines by drying. I'm still going to need to put that shadow down, but I need to put my background down before I put my shadow down, or else it will look kind of weird. I don't exactly know why that happens, but just trust me, it does. And here's the thing. Sometimes backgrounds can make or break a piece. I'm not sure exactly what I think of this particular background, but I'm also teaching this later tonight. So I'm going to have the opportunity to give it another background. So I'm just kind of trying out backgrounds at the moment, and this is what I've got. Trying to move quickly here. So I've got my big brush. Really could stand a bigger one for this type of work, but this is what I've got. So this is what I'm using. Might even just bring some more water in, get it wet so that it will. See, I've already got a line right here. Let's see if I can weten that up. I do have this line happening here, and I think what I'm going to just do is keep adding water. It didn't move fast enough, but if I just keep adding water, I can come back and add more color in. It will be a wet on wet. It will move into all of those pieces, and it will be all right. And here we go. Oh, look, I got a line there. Whoops. It happens, right? It happens. It is okay. It is really okay. Most of the time, the things that we see in our paintings, not everybody else is seeing anyway. So we just don't need to take it so seriously. Sometimes those things that we think have wrecked it might even be the thing that make it unique and interesting. And let's see. So what I notice happening right here is I kind of like how it's getting lighter towards the top. And I'm going to just let it stay there. My little yellow one down here almost looks like it's floating. So now I need to let this dry so that I can bring in this shadow down here. Anyone guess what color I'm going to make that shadow? Yeah, pop it in the comment section below. Let me know what you think I'm going to make that shadow color. And the final thing, now that my background is dry, is I'm going to bring the shadow in here. I am going to use my round 6. I'm going to use the cobalt. And I will bring in the cobalt underneath here, just like so. Using the cobalt on my already purple background, it's making it really a very rich color. I really like the way it's turning out. And I'm so excited for you to paint this with me. Can't wait to hear how yours have turned out. Adding a lot of rich color. There we go. Now, the very last thing that we get to do is we get to take off the tape. Is anybody else like this? Right now, the only tape I have is super big. So I've got this big, so wasteful. I'll do better next time. But I'm going to slowly take this tape off. Look how satisfying that is to just pull the tape off. Yeah. And we've got this nice edge, this nice border edge. I'm going to do the bottom one as well. Some people think this part is the most fun. You see why. Just taking off the tape. And you can see every time we do that, we get a gorgeous little border that happens. I don't want you to forget to sign and date your piece. It's a really important piece of this. Sign and date your piece. I promise as you develop as an artist, you're going to want to have a document of your journey. And I promise you, it's just going to happen so much faster than you even think it will. And it's taking the tape off on that side. Ah, look, how fun is that? I am in love with this one. Did you love this one as much as I did? I'm going to go ahead and sign it along with y'all. Okay, so I'm going to sign it just over here. And I do a Wilford. And I'll date it on the back or down at the bottom. But et voila. Okay. So I hope that you had just as much fun as I did painting these macarons. And I will see you on Sunday with a video about the Winsor & Newton professional series tray of watercolors and how they stack up to this cheap Artistro set. I'll see you soon.